if you get it in on Monday, they're not going to come after you, but technically you will be in violation of the law, and I hope we can clean that up when this bill comes to the floor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It's too late to do that right now, isn't it?
It is.
Thank you for all of us who are getting that ready. Thank you. Are there other questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, is this a consentable item or no? No. Any objection to consent? No? Okay. Thank you. Next would be item number 8, House Bill number 5460, an act concerning captive audience meetings. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Representative Holder-Winfield.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill, an act concerning captive audience, prohibits employers from requiring employees to attend meetings that are primarily designated to discuss the employer's position on religious or political matters. It covers all private sector and state and all of its political subdivisions. It also provides for employees who make good faith efforts to report violation of the bill. There are exceptions to the bill, which would include exceptions for 3 types of employers. Those would be religious organizations that may require their employees to attend meetings or participate in certain types of communications with the employer. It also includes political organizations which may require its employees to attend meetings or participate in certain types of communications with the employer, and higher education institutions or agents thereof that may meet or participate in communications with its employees about political or religious matters. This bill is a good bill, and I urge this committee to pass the bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Senator McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to voice opposition to this idea. The Office of Legislative Research has studied this in the past and says, quote, "It appears likely that based on the history of the National Labor Relations Act and court rulings, that the NLRA would preempt the bill's provisions as they relate to labor organizing. If the National Labor Relations Act does not preempt state legislation, the bill could also face a First Amendment challenge." It seems pretty clear for a layperson, from my viewpoint, that this does limit freedom of speech. I urge fellow members of this committee to vote no. Thank you.
Senator Kissel.
Thank you very much. I think that Senator McLaughlin raises a very important point. And but on this particular matter, at least right now, it was probably the Monday or Tuesday in the last week of July that I had a lengthy discussion with a gentleman named Brian Petronella, who I considered a friend. And I was shocked because I left for my vacation with my family that following weekend, and I was shocked to hear on the radio that he died unexpectedly that Friday evening. And he was a young man. He was in his early 50s. And when we spoke earlier that week, we spoke about this bill. So it's a House bill. I don't know if it'll get to us in the Senate. At that time, for my friends in the Connecticut Business and Industry Association, I probably would not be able to support it there, but I'm very hesitant to stop it at this point in time. In past years, it seemed to have a lot to do with labor relations at Yale New Haven Hospital. This year, it seems to have something to do with labor relations at Stop and Shop. I know that there's an awful lot of folks in the business community that have voiced opposition. In looking at the report of the public hearing, there's probably at least 3 pages of names of business folks that came out and testified or submitted testimony in opposition. So at this time, and just very personally because of my respect for Mr. Petronella and his memory, I'm going to be voting in favor of this, but I do think that the underlying concerns as to whether the National Labor Relations Act preempts this and has taken the field, I think that's a substantial hurdle that proponents are going to have to cross, and I don't think they have in past years, and I think they still have probably the same problem this year. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator.